I'm here this moment because I've told you that I'm going to come back. And if you're going to come to join me here in this live chat, be rest assured that you have a lot that you are going to benefit this time. If you're watching it now, if you're watching this video now with me, fine, but I've not seen anyone coming up online yet. But as I said, I will be coming every evening to teach. You know, teaching is my hobby. So I devote time every evening to teach and share ideas on things that people ask me every day. Okay, let me just bring this one up. Today, I had an encounter with a few of my students, and they normally come around with their research for me to look at them. But I want everyone who is watching this video, know it, whether you are a student who is undergoing research, or you are a business person, or you are just someone who is curious about how research is being done or how innovations do come about. I want to tell you that you are just at the right point. So don't get out of this video. As you come to watch, just make sure you stay till the end. As I always assure, before the end of the video, you are going to get something very spectacular that you wouldn't have just gotten from any other video. Especially in this live video, I'm going to be sharing so much great things. So for this one that I chose to deal on research, before I even continue, let me tell you, as soon as you come up to this video, make sure you like. And as you like, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, so that anytime I'm going to come on, you will get the notification. Don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so that whenever I come on live, you will be notified. And it's very important to take note of that. So the question is, should we even do research? It wouldn't have just been necessary for one to do research, except for the fact that there is problem. So you cannot, or should you do research where there is no problem? Let me put it that way. We'll find out in this video as we keep going, because I'm not going to be able to tell you whether you should or you should not. But let me give you a scenario, because problem is everywhere. And because problem is everywhere, that is why research is inevitable. However, you may find it difficult couching your problem in line with what you want to do. And oftentimes when you hear what do you want to do in your research, it implies your aim. And at the end of the day, you find that your aim happens to be that your research topic. So sometimes some students or some people who just want to go into research, business, especially students, they go to find a topic first before starting the research. In that situation where you're finding topic first, you end up having a lot of complexities in your research process. So what is research in the first instance? If you Google it, you'll find a lot of definitions, but I'm going to let you know that research, from my perspective and understanding, is a systematic inquiry. Again, it's a systematic research, is a systematic inquiry. Why is it systematic? Systematic means that you are going to be taking it from one step to the other. So you will not jump a step and go from where you're not supposed to start from. Rather, you are going to start it from step 1 to 2 to 3, 4, like that and that. So what is the first step when you want to conduct a research, before you get even propelled to it, it means that there's something overaching that you want to solve, meaning there is a problem that you want to solve. So if you have a problem, fine, you are in for research, because for you to find that, for you to have a problem, it means that you must go through a systematic inquiry, asking questions to be able to solve a problem. Now I have to get this straight. Look at a scenario whereby there is flood, and as we all know, flood is everywhere. If you're coming into this video, please feel free to ask questions. As you ask questions, I'm going to be dealing with them because I'm going to see them. So go to your question tab, ask your questions. I'm going to be dealing with them. So this is an interactive one. Okay, I can see someone is up here live, and that you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. All right. All right. You can go ahead and share this on your WhatsApp status. Go ahead and share this video as soon as you come in here. Share it on your status live. Everybody's gonna get this. Okay, so as I'm talking to that one person who is here, share it live so that your friends can come on live and learn. You know, it's rare for you to find learning at this time, but I have to tell you, wherever you are in the world, I am in for you to know. Okay, fine. As I continue, when you have a problem, you are in for research. I talked about a scenario where there is flood, and trust me, flood is everywhere, but it might not be a problem to some people. So it means that when you are doing a research, it is bound to a location. First, it is a problem, and that problem is bound to a location. Okay, so if we have this established, you now find out you have a flood in the farm, we have flood on the roads, and we also have flood where people are living. Trust me, if you have flood in the farm, the person who is living in his house does not have that problem, but it is a farmer that will have the problem. So you see why I said you need to be able to identify your problem and couch it rightly. Secondly, if you have a flood on the road, the motorists and those who are moving through that particular road are the people who have the problem. So you don't have business questioning those who are not in that place about that problem when you are doing your questioning. Okay, fine. As we said, systematic inquiry. Step one is for you to be able to identify that problem that you want to solve. Clearly state it and let it be understood by the researcher and every other person. If you are doing an academic research, your assessor will need to see your problem clearly for you to say you are in a research process. Okay, so fine. If we take on flood in the farm, it means that this thing is bordering on persons. And who are the persons that are likely to be having this problem? The farmer, as I said. And the farmer here might be undergoing maybe low yield. He's not having good crops are not yielding because whenever the rain comes, water covers the plants, and some of them fall or some of them are logged, and the crops die, and we do not have good yield. That's a huge problem. So the systematic inquiry is towards solving the problem. Fair enough. Now we have been able to establish this. So solve your problem means take a step towards it. So if you have identified that, you can now move to the second point, which, after stating your problem, you now clearly state your aim. Your aim is what you want to do. So we have water in the farmlands. As a researcher, what do you want to do? And I want you to ask yourself this question clearly. Sometimes you will not just ask yourself and get the answer, but you have to ponder over it over time. I really wish that I have a couple of us come up here and but I don't know. I want to believe that you will see this video, and when you see it, like it, share it, and let's try and keep a date every 10:30 daily. And I believe it's going to help a lot of persons. So we got that established, all right? What do you want to do? I would say, as a farmer or as a researcher who's trying to solve a problem that happens in the farm, that you want to find out how the water flood affects maybe productivity. I'm going to switch to my industry now because I'm talking about another industry, but I'm going to switch to the building aspect, right? Take, for instance, you have houses that were built before the roads were constructed, and these houses had their finished floor level a bit higher than existing road that was not tarred. Okay, based on the fact that the road is not good and the government comes to do the road, which was supposed to have been done before persons are living there, but humans need shelter, so they went into area and start developing without government developing it. That is actually a problem that is very, very common in Africa. I don't know if you find such problem in your own country, but if you do, please drop a comment and let me know. Wherever you are watching from, let me know how this applies to you so that we can target it, because there is problem everywhere, and as researchers we have to seek means of solving this problem systematically. All right, now as the road level is going down because of heavy trucks like tippers that bring sand and building materials to the environment for people to develop their dwelling, we now see that there's need for the road to be constructed. Okay, and because the drainage of the adjoining road that you need to remove water from this road to is actually higher, a lot of contractors, a lot of engineers will take level from an existing road and they want to fill their road so that they will be able to have their drainage flow into an existing drainage. That's going to now pose more problems. Then we now find that the new level of the road in an area where people had been living has been increased, and the houses in that environment are being submerged below the road level. Then this was done during the dry season, and the rainy season comes. The buildings that never used to experience flood begins to experience flood because water running off from their roofs no longer have a channel of going to the road and flowing off. Rather, the water level now rises within their residential or living environments. As this continues over the years, you find that the water level rises and people now live, whenever it is the rainy season, they are now living in a flooded area. This can affect a lot of things around them. For instance, their household items could be affected. They may be sleeping at night and a huge rain is coming and the water level rises up. That is a huge problem that requires significant, in fact, it requires urgent attention. And by that, as a researcher, you are seeking to solve problems to make living good for those who are living in that area. But you want to really know how this thing affects them. So you see, there are a lot of factors that are building up here. So with this, what is the next thing to do? Because now you have been able to establish what you as a researcher has found as a problem. So what do you want to do? Okay, you want to are you looking at evaluating the water level at so period, or are you looking at it is now your responsibility as the researcher to establish that, and such will bring about what we call your aim. The simpler you make it, the better. And your aim needs to capture variables. Variables could be those that depend and those that are independent. So we have both dependent and independent variables. I know a couple of persons, when you go into research, you hear words like variables. Once again, let me remind you, if you don't know who is speaking to you, you know the name of the channel, that's Dr. Utibe Aka. You see the name in the channel, Architect Utibe Aka, PhD. Yes, I'm on fire and I want you to catch the fire too, okay? Feel free to drop a question here. I now say, as a researcher, your aim has to be in line with you had a problem. So your aim is to solve that problem, but you also need to define that, state your aim clearly. Remember, your aim cannot solve itself, but you will need to develop what is called objectives. These objectives are what you will do to achieve that aim. So it means the heart of your research is in your objective. Having had a problem identified or stated, and also had your aim clearly stated, then the next is your objectives. That is what you will do, and that is where the systematic inquiry comes in, because you are going to be doing one thing after the other and the other and the other. So for a situation like that, where you have established that you want to investigate, okay, so your aim is to assess the living condition of people in this area, vis-a-vis the level of rainfall that happens within that area too. So what do you want to do? First, you are going to identify the current situation in that area. Is there flood even there in the particular area you want to solve? If you have seen that, are people displaced? If they are displaced, are their building levels high or low? So if their building levels were low, what could have been the problem? At the end of the day, by the time you finish doing this thing, it's going to take you to where you need to resolve. But for this video, my concern is basically how you should establish that problem. Okay? So I don't want us to take on all the steps with this, because I know if I take it all up, it's going to be a very long video. So I'm going to try and wrap it up But I will go give you another scenario of a problem, so that when you get the clarity of problem, it will be easier for you to deal with. It will be easier for you to deal with your aim and developing objectives, because I have seen this severally. Students find it difficult, even at the doctoral level rather. Even at that level, people still struggle in finding their problem. You know, the essence, the reason is that they did not have in mind to solve a problem. They just wanted to have a topic and go and research. You just don't have a topic and research. Immediately you have a problem you seek to solve, you will absolutely see the problem. Let me give you an instance of another very significant one. Students in architecture are facing a situation whereby they graduate and they do not have the skill required in the industry. Are you getting the point? So there's already a skill gap there, because when you are doing a research, you are seeking to bridge a gap by finding new knowledge, solving a problem, or contributing to knowledge, you know. So as I said, students of architecture graduate, and upon graduation they do not land jobs in the industry because they do not have the requisite skill. So they end up, upon graduation, need to go and learn the skill that is required in the industry. This is quite sad, but that is a situation in some places. So you see why I said it is location specific, because in some other areas of the world that might not be the case. So seeking to solve such problem will be to investigate why that is happening. But you see, the problem there is clear. And you can also have scenarios of problem. Sometimes it might not just be one. You might have problem scenario, but all of them have to align. It might not just be a particular kind of the problem might not just be one, but you have one or two, three that is in the same nature. Let me give you an instance here. The situation is that these people graduate. Okay, now the question in mind could be they are not being taught those skills in the school. So that is actually very clear. There is a lack of inclusion of those skills in their taught curriculum. So it's not there. And why it's not there, you now have to state it in your background that maybe you wouldn't know why it's not there. So in your background, you need to state what efforts others have done and why you need to do this. There's also another analogy that I like to use. You woke up in the morning and you felt a bit abnormal, and you know, normally when you wake up you exercise and go ahead to do the day's task, but this day you woke up and you did not have the energy to exercise. It means that there's something wrong. All right, okay, what do you do next? You just try to go out, but when you came back in the evening, you notice that you are shivering and you were unable to be productive. So as you were shivering, you tried to do something to help yourself. Maybe you drank some water, and the water didn't help, because you actually know that when you drink water, sometimes when you feel that way, it works for you. Or maybe you are somebody that immediately you have a little bit of headache, you just want to take a nap. But in this situation, you took a nap and it did not still help. Okay, and you decided to just close your eyes and meditate, and it didn't still help. You prayed and it didn't work. Okay, now you called a friend and asked a friend, this is how I'm feeling, and your friend advised you, please go and see a doctor. And when you get to the doctor, do you know what the doctor will ask you first? In fact, before going to see the doctor, look at this other aspect. Your spouse or your mom or anybody who is close to you decide to give you enema, just to remove all the things that has been inside your system that are not supposed to be. And by taking that in the African perspective, you find out that you still couldn't get better, but you were deteriorating. Gradually, you started emaciating, losing weight, and feeling light and fainty, and all those things. Then you quickly move over to consult a physician. And on getting to the physician is just not going to do anything. He's going to ask you, try to get the history. And that history you are giving him, you are gradually building up your problem statements. You get the point? You are trying to tell him what you have been going through, that you were feeling fine, and all of a sudden you did not feel fine again. As you're saying those things, he's taking down notes. And that note he's writing down, he is writing your problem down. As a researcher, as you observe these things, you should also be noting your observations down. And it will not be complete when you have not mentioned that when other efforts have not been done. Because if others have done something and it failed, because if you just say this is the problem, it means that others would have done something about it. So you should be able to capture what others have done and has not captured the particular aspect where you want to do or want to focus on. That begins to narrow you down to a specific problem that you want to solve that is unrelated to what others have done. If not, there will be a lot of duplication in research. So the ability of a researcher to be able to state his or her problem, narrow it down, and take it to a point whereby that focus is clear and logical. That is the point that you say that is a researchable project. So once you get that, you now state it clearly. This is what I want to do. I want to solve this specific problem of why the architecture students are not having the requisite skill, and you want to look at it in the perspective of inclusion of this skill within their curriculum. That gives you the scope where you want to study, and you are emphasizing clearly on those in the universities, not those in the polytechnics. If you want to take tertiary institutions as a whole, fine, that is a broader one, but you also need to limit it to a geographical location. Are you talking about Nigeria as a whole? Are you talking about Africa? Are you talking about West Africa? Are you talking about a specific region in a country? And by the time you spell that out, if you're taking Nigeria as a whole, it's clear because the Nigerian university system uses approved curriculum by the Nigerian University Commission or National University Commission. Excuse me, please. So if you have that, means you have been able to narrow it down and you have stated your scope clearly. So now objective 1, which is now how you want to achieve that your aim, which you have stated, which is your topic in any way that you have been able to couch it, and it will be modified. Remember, you have to always work with your supervisor. You cannot do research all alone. You must have guidance, and your supervisor actually has to guide. You must work with your supervisor, share your ideas, guide and get the guidance, professional guidance that you need to get from the supervisor. I hope this is clear, and I want to wrap it up here and ask you that you let me have your comments if you've gotten this aspect of writing your problem clearly. Let me have it clear so that we can, or rather I can deal with it more to suit your specific problem. And I want to also let you know that I am live and direct at the comment section here to deal with every issue that you may have, so that you have a head start in your research problem. and rather research projects. So note and note it clearly that once you have a problem, you are into solving it through the research. So once again, my name is Dr. Utibe Aka, and I would say like, subscribe, share, and let me have your comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow by the same time. In Nigerian time, I take 10:30, but I came in a little bit late today. I will be looking forward to seeing you soon, or rather talking to you soon. Have a wonderful time, and keep on researching. Bye.